everyone, welcome back to Yarns and Fins. I am Kay, and for today's video, I'll be sharing with you how to crochet the wisteria top. You can get a printable pattern for this design. I'll put the link where you can get it on the description box once it's available. This top is heavily inspired from Mom Kath of What About Yarns drawstring top. She also makes beautiful tops. You guys should also check her YouTube channel. Now, without further ado, let's start. To begin, make a slip knot and chain a chain that can wrap around your bust point level or under bust if you don't want it too loose. Your total chains should be multiples of 8. Now make sure the chains is not twisted and slip stitch on the first chain. To start row 1, chain 3. That will be our first treble crochet. Then to work a treble crochet, yarn over twice, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through. Now you have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Now do treble crochet in each chains around. To finish round 1, slip stitch on the third chain at the beginning of the round. To start round 2, chain 4. The first 3 chains is considered as our first double crochet. Now double crochet on the same stitch. To work double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through. Now you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Again, chain 1 and another double crochet on the same stitch. Then chain 1, skip 3 stitches and single crochet on the next. Chain 3 and single crochet on the same stitch. Again, chain 1, skip 3 stitches and double crochet on the next. Chain 1, double crochet on the same stitch. Chain 1, double crochet on the same stitch, and another chain 1. Now to make it less confusing, let's call this stitch fan and the smaller one a mesh stitch. The fan stitch is a chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and chain 1 on the same stitch. Next, skip 3 stitches and work mesh stitch on the next. Mesh stitch is a single crochet, chain 3, and single crochet on the same stitch. Now keep alternating the 2 stitch, skipping 3 stitches each for the whole round. Finish round 2 with a slip stitch on the third chain at the beginning. Then to continue to round 3, slip stitch until you get into the center double crochet of the fan stitch. To continue to round 3, chain 4 and then single crochet on the same stitch. That will be our first messy stitch for round 3. Now, on this chain 3 space from the previous round, work a fan stitch. Then next, on the center double crochet of this stitch from the previous row, work a mesh stitch. Again, on the next mesh stitch, work a fan stitch. Continue the pattern for the whole round. To end the round, slip stitch on the first mesh stitch. To continue to round 4, chain 4. The first 3 chains will be our first double crochet. Now double crochet on the same stitch, chain 1 double crochet. That will be our first fan stitch. Then proceed to the same pattern from the previous row, a mesh stitch on top of a fan stitch, and a fan stitch on top of a mesh stitch. Finish round 4 with a slip stitch on the third chain at the beginning, and then continue with the rounds, repeating the last 2 round pattern until you have your desired coverage below your bust. A total of 20 rows including the treble crochets. Next is to divide the stitches into 2 and attach your marker like this. And then we will now work in rows, not in rounds. So starting on this side, slip stitch again until you reach the center double crochet of the fan stitch. Chain 2, and then work your first fan stitch on this mesh stitch. Next, mesh stitch, and then continue the fan and mesh stitch across until you reach your stitch marker. At the end of the row, you should do this at the fan stitch before or after the stitch marker. And to end the row, double crochet on the center double crochet of the fan stitch. Next row, flip your work and then slip stitch until you get into the center double crochet of your last fan stitch. From here, chain 2, and then work your first fanny stitch on this mesh stitch. Then continue to alternate the mesh and fanny stitch across. At the end of the row, we will work a double crochet, and make sure to work your double crochet at the center double crochet of the first fanny stitch from the previous row. Next row, we will repeat the same pattern on row 1, which is a slip stitch. Then chain 2 and work your first fanny stitch. Alternate fanny stitch and mesh stitch across. The end of the row, finish with a double crochet on the first fanny stitch from the previous row. So as you can see, we are decreasing the rows, and now I'm gonna add one more row before starting with the straps. For larger sizes, you can add 2 to 4 more rows. After that, to make the strap, we're just going to chain at least 35 inch in length. You can add more if needed. Once your chain is enough, starting on the second chain from hook, slip stitch each chain all the way back. So I accidentally deleted the next clip, but here, after you have finished slip stitching your strap, you'll just have to single crochet each stitches across until you reach the next corner, and from there, work the same pattern for the straps. Finish with a slip stitch and chain 1. Now for the ruffles, attach your yarn anywhere at the bottom. Now chain 3, skip 1 stitch and single crochet on the next. Again chain 3, skip 1 stitch and single crochet on the next. Repeat that for the whole round. After your last single crochet, slip stitch on the first chain 3 space. Now we'll work our first shell stitch with chain 3, double crochet on the same chain 3 space, chain 1 and another 2 double crochet still on the same chain 3 space. Next, another shell stitch on the next chain 3 space, working 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet on the same space. Repeat shell stitch in each spaces for the whole round. To finish the round, slip stitch on the third chain at the beginning, then slip stitch on the next stitch and on the chain 1 space, and begin the round with a shell stitch again. Chain 3, double crochet, chain 1 and 2 double crochet on the same chain 1 space, and then work shell stitches in each chain 1 space for the whole round. Then finish the round again with a slip stitch on the third chain at the beginning, and then add 2 more rounds of shell stitches. After 4 rounds of shell stitches, for round 5, chain 3, then work 2 double crochet, picot stitch, and then 3 double crochet on the same chain 1 space. To work with picot stitch, chain 3, and slip stitch on the first chain. Then another on the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochet, picot stitch, and another 3 double crochet on the same chain 1 space. Do this for the whole round. Finish the round with a slip stitch on the third chain at the beginning, and then chain 1 to secure and cut the yarn. For our lace, double pull your yarn and using the same hook size or bigger hook size, whichever you're comfortable with, make a slip knot and chain a chain that can wrap around your waist plus 25 inch. Using your darning needle, insert your lace in the treble crochet round in and out after every 7 or 6 stitches. And that's it for our tutorial. I hope you enjoyed this video. I might also make a dress version of this top, so stay tuned. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell for you to get notified on my new uploads. Thank you for watching.